A very good morning, children. Today we are going to begin our commercial studies class with the recapitulation of what we did in the previous class. That is, what is industry and what are the types of industry? Industry means what? The production of products. And how do they do it? With the help of human beings. And this industry was divided into three parts: primary industries, secondary industries, and tertiary industries. Primary industry was further divided into two: genetic and extractive industry. Genetic, the word means is hereditary, that is, the reproduction or multiplication keeps on going, like for example cattle breeding. Then you have extractive industries, that is extraction of useful materials from beneath the surface of the earth. Then you have the secondary industries. In the secondary industries you have manufacturing industries, and which manufactures different types of raw materials. Raw materials are transferred to semi-finished products and final products. Then you have construction industries. They're engaged in construction of building. Tertiary industries, the last, that is what it is concerned with provision of service and facilities to the primary and secondary industries. Okay, and this is also known as service sector. Okay. Now, on the basis of size, it is further divided into large scale industries, small scale industries, heavy industries. Okay, so now in today's class we are going to study about the next thing is commerce. Okay, now this commerce, what is commerce? Commerce is that branch of business which involves in buying and selling of goods, exchange of commodities, and distribution of finished product. Its purpose is to provide goods and services at the right time at right place. I've already explained. Now let us do the classification of commerce. It is mainly classified into two parts: trade and aids to trade. Okay. Now what is trade? Trade refers to buying and selling of goods and services for money or money worth. Okay. It's so that it helps us to in an uninterrupted supply of goods, so that the human wants, as they keep on, the wants keep on creeping up. So it is the duty of the trade to uninterrupted supply of goods to the people or the consumer, and it enhances the standard of living of consumers. That it increases the standard of living of the consumers, by giving them more and more facilities. Like you have nowadays at home in a kitchen, you have grinding machines, you have mixers, you have even cleaning utensil machines. Then you have choppers and everything, isn't it? Before my mothers and all, they used to use their hands to do, means sit and do it physically. But now the machine, just with a click of the button, the things work. Okay. Now this trade is divided into home trade and foreign trade. Home trade is what? Home trade is also known as domestic trade, and that is internal trade. It is also known as home trade or domestic trade. It is conducted within the political and geographical boundaries of the country. Okay. They are further divided into wholesale trade, and the next one is retail trade. What is wholesale trade? It involves buying in large quantity from the producers or the manufacturers. These wholesale traders, they buy in large quantity and they get a rebate on it at a lower cost, and they sell it to the retailers. Okay, or sometimes consumers also, they directly buy from the wholesalers if the facility is there. And this retail trade, that is, they buy in smaller quantities and sell it to the consumers or even to the shopkeepers. This is known as the channel of distribution, like how the goods are being transferred from the manufacturers to the ultimate consumers. Okay, you have the next one is external trade or foreign trade. It is divided into three parts, that is export trade, import trade, and entrepot trade. What do you mean by export trade? When a trader from home country sells his goods to trader outside another country, from one country to the another country, that is known as export trade. Okay, and when the traders obtain or purchases goods from outside country, that is known as import trade. Okay, like we purchase goods from China, right? Then Entrepot trade means when goods are imported from one country and then re-exported for doing some processing is called entrepot. Okay. In brief, it can also be called as re-export of processed import goods. For example, an Indian trader purchases some raw materials or spare parts from a Japanese trader, then assembles it and converts into finished goods, and then he re-exports to the American trade. That means we are buying some goods from one country and we are, the raw materials which we purchase, we turn it into export. We turn it to finished goods and then we are exporting it to some other country. That is known as. Now there are many aids to trade. Now you cannot only the goods. How will the goods travel from the producers to the consumer? You should have proper transportation facilities. Warehousing means where the goods can be stored. Insurance, so that if there is accident or any other calamities which happens, then the insurance company pays on their behalf. Advertisement plays a very important role. The new product which is being launched in the market, that has to be popularized and known to the consumers. So this is also there. Banking, now when you're doing business you need money, so somebody should be there to finance, and the bank is the best way from where you can get loans. So these are, without this aids to trade you cannot survive. So what is this auxiliary to trade or aid to trade? It means meant for assisting trade, as whatever you assist the trade, that is what is trade, that is wholesale trade and all which you are doing. To assist that you need transport, warehousing, insurance, advertising, banking. So these are aids to trade. Okay, so here is a description of all the types. Okay, you can say aids to trade or auxiliary to trade. Okay, now what are the expected questions? What is, you have to 2 marks question, 5 marks question. As I have already told you children, after every topic I am giving you the questions. So it is mandatory or compulsory for each and every children to write the questions. Either you use the slides which I have to write the answers, that will be very fair enough. So whether, I would always tell you to write 5 marks answer, so that from that you can extract 2 marks questions also. Okay.